Hey guys, this is a quick full body flexibility routine that you can do, and I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite stretches and exercises using a wall. For this routine, you'll need a couple of yoga blocks and maybe something soft to place under your knee. You can also use a foam roller and maybe a very light weight. It's not necessary, but we can use it. So we're going to get started with our shoulders. We're going to take a yoga block and bring it against the wall. Now from here, give yourself some space. You're going to open up the knees, place the yoga block just above your head. Now from here, you're going to push your butt back and you're going to look straight ahead at the wall. We're going to inhale, coming up just slightly, and on the exhale, we're going to go towards the wall. Exhale, going towards the wall, pushing your butt back. So you don't want this to happen. Push your butt back, head goes forward, and we want to keep the arms straight. As you inhale, come up slightly. And as you exhale, go towards the wall. You want the exhale to be longer than your inhale. All right, and again, inhale, come up ever so slightly, and exhale. And again, inhale, and exhale. If you're able, you can also think about looking up towards the block, maybe stretch your neck as well. But if that feels too uncomfortable for now, you can just keep looking straight at your wall. Inhale, come up slightly, and exhale, going towards the wall. You can move around a little bit side to side, and then slowly out of it. Give your shoulders a moment. I like to just shake them out, and we're going to repeat that again. For shoulders, if you have stiff shoulders like me, this is the one you definitely want to include. You can do these daily. If it's too intense, you can remove the yoga block and just do it with your hands to the wall instead. In fact, I'm going to do the second one without the block so you can see. But if you want to continue with the block, grab it. So without the block, I'm going to come a little bit closer to the wall. Keep the knees open, push your butt back. Hands close together, arms are straight. Inhale, exhale, go towards the wall. If your nose touches the wall, you're going to look up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come up slightly. Exhale, go towards the wall. Make sure the exhale is long all the way. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, come up ever so slightly. Exhale, going towards the wall. And you continue like that. Inhale, coming up, easing off a little bit, and exhale is where you go the deepest. Okay, one more. Inhale and exhale. Very good. If you have it in you, feel free to repeat that 3 times instead of twice. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We're going to stretch our neck. So for this one, I like to use a yoga block and a blanket. But if you have softer yoga blocks, like these are very hard. If you have softer yoga blocks, you might not need the blanket. You can just go straight ahead. I'm going to show you this stretch without the wall first, and then with the wall, because the version with the wall is a little bit more intense. It's already intense without the wall. So I'll show you this one first. If you have the wall, you can just bring your feet towards the wall so you have something to push against. I'll put my blanket on. Place the hands down, and I'm going to lower down looking straight ahead, and I want to get the block underneath my chin, so not on the tip of my chin, okay? Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bruise. You're going to go underneath, yeah, like someone's tapping you underneath your chin like this. Now to lower down, I kind of go down like a tricep push-up where I'm dropping my chest down and I'm keeping my elbows glued to my ribs. So I don't open up my elbows like this. I keep them in, looking straight ahead. And you're gonna focus on breathing through your nose. Now once I'm here, I'm gonna let my chest lower down, looking up towards the ceiling. It's hard to talk in that position. So once your chin is on the block, think about lifting your chin up actively. So you don't want to push all the way down into the block. You want to lift the chin. The weight is coming from the chest. So the chest is going to sink down onto the ground, but you're going to be lifting your chin up, gaze up. Okay. As for the elbows, they remain off the ground. So I'm not going to be like this in like a forearm position. I'm going to go like that instead. Okay, so here very slowly. If that is too much, okay, because it can be, do it without the block first. So you can test it out like this first. Again, keeping the hands under the shoulders, elbows close to the ribs. See how that feels first, okay? Because that might already be a lot to get used to. So these crazy positions. So we're going to place our chin. And it's not your throat, okay? You're not choking yourself, all right? So here, gaze up, elbows in, sink the chest to the ground. I might be too close to the wall. I'm okay. Inhale, and on the exhale, I sink down, looking up at the ceiling. Inhale a bit, come up a bit. Exhale, sink down. And then slowly out of it. So most important thing there is you're maintaining your breath. You're breathing through your nose the whole time. Focus on breathing through your nose. I know it sounds obvious telling you to breathe, but once you're in a position like that, you might forget to breathe. It happens. So just remember, inhale through the nose. You're even gonna try to relax your jaw if you can, okay? Don't clench your teeth in that position. You wanna just melt down into the ground. If anything feels too intense, remove the block. If that is okay, we can take it to the wall. It's normal as well to feel it like you're stretching your neck. So you are going to feel quite tense at the back of the neck in the beginning. Once you get used to practicing putting your neck in these positions, you won't feel, it's like anything. When you're stretching it for the first time, the next day you're going to feel incredibly sore. But then once you do these regularly, your neck will be more flexible and stronger and it won't get as sore anymore. So block. For this one, it requires some time to set up. I like having the block basically where my throat would be, like this, somewhere there. I'm gonna move away and I'm going to place my chin. I'm holding the block like this, by the way, okay? I'm holding it. I'm gonna place my chin on the block. You can do it like this or like this. Play around with what works with your block. And you're gonna think about, again, looking up at the ceiling and pushing your chest towards the wall. You can keep your elbows on the wall for now. Make sure you're sticking your butt out and breathe. And go really gentle. Don't push here. Super gentle. And slowly out of it. Look up and down a few times, nice and slow. When it comes to neck stretches, if you're new to them, I would only do one round. You might have done both by now if you're watching this, but if you didn't do the wall stretch, I would maybe stick on the ground until that becomes a regular thing in your stretching routine, and then take it to the wall. But I only do like one or two because then otherwise it's too much for my neck as well. So less is more when it comes to your neck. Okay, next we're going to be working on our back and upper back specifically to open up the thoracic. So we're going to either grab both yoga blocks. I'll show you that option first. You can also do this with a foam roller. So if you're using yoga blocks, again, if they're hard blocks, cover them with a blanket or something so it's more comfortable. And you want to be arm's distance from your wall. We're going to place the blocks underneath our upper back, like where your bra strap would be, okay, underneath the shoulder blades. There. Now we want to sit our butt on the ground, have the knees bent, get comfy in this position. You can even begin by grabbing your elbows. And then eventually we're going to extend the arms, place the palms flat on the wall and push. And breathe. If you're okay here, you can walk your fingers down the wall, but we want to keep the arms straight. So you don't want this to happen where the arms start bending. You want to actively push, straighten the arms, look down for the bottom of the wall. So I'm looking for there, okay? Keeping the butt on the ground and breathe. And again, don't go too far too soon. Stay somewhere easy so that your nervous system can calm down first, and then you can go deeper. You can't go deeper in a stretch if your nervous system is freaking out, because then it's contracting your muscles, it's tightening everything up, it's clenching. There's no way you can go deeper in a stretch if you're clenching and tightening. I mean, you could, but then that's what usually leads to injury. So we want to avoid that. So first you have to feel calm in a stretch before you go even further. Okay, and if you're okay, I'm quite calm there. I'm going to bring my fingers down just like a few centimeters, not even centimeters, millimeters really. And push and breathe. Yeah, flexibility is like sometimes just going a millimeter further is huge progress. You're not gonna see like some crazy progress overnight. It takes, at least in my case, flexibility took a long, long time for me to achieve, and there's still a long way to go. It never ends. You can always become more flexible. Slowly out of it. Okay, I'm gonna hang out here just for a moment before coming up. Never come out of these leg positions very quickly. You wanna ease back up and give yourself a moment. If you're using a foam roller, you're going to do the same thing. Now it's a little bit lower. Actually, 2 blocks was quite intense. So if you have the foam roller, same thing. Slowly go back. Okay, don't just like whip yourself backwards. And I'm here. Now, if you wanted to go further here, and let's say you have a light weight, now I mean really light. I have a 2 kilo. That's probably even too heavy. Keep it super light. You're going to bring it behind you and you're going to grab the weight. This is just going to help your hands sink down, keep the arms straight. If you don't have a weight, you could also do this with like the end of a sofa. You could grab the bottom of the sofa and push your butt down. That's going to really help push the chest up and open up the upper back. Or even the bed, something heavy, like heavy furniture that will not move. Okay, make sure it doesn't move. And you can play around with the positioning of the foam roller or the blocks if you're using them. You can bring them a little bit higher, up the back, and same thing. And you hold it here. Yeah, and you repeat the process. Okay, let's move on to our hips and psoas. So you're gonna need something soft for your knee. I'm gonna use a blanket. Okay, so we're gonna start off. You can also grab your yoga blocks because you might need them. We're gonna start off with one knee bent with quite some space between your knee and the wall. So something like this. From here, I just have my yoga blocks in case I need some support here. I'm gonna step, actually, let me do the other leg. There, let's do this leg first. I'm gonna step forward with my other leg, and I'm gonna place my hands down next to my foot. Okay, now from here, you're going to squeeze your butt and tuck your tailbone in. And you should already, just by doing that, feel an intense stretch along the front of the hip. What I'm doing is I'm just coming up to show you, I'm tucking my butt in. I'm pushing my butt forward. So I'm not arching my back, I'm doing the opposite, tuck. And squeezing my butt, clenching. You can also think about pushing this foot into the wall. So it's very tight, and hold it here. If you're fine here, you can relax in for a little bit, okay, sink down, and then clench again, tuck your butt in. If this is easy, you don't need to come up straight away, okay? You can stay here. Just bring the knee closer to the wall. And the same thing, you're gonna tuck your pelvis and you're gonna push your hips forward till you find that stretch in the quad. This is too much. See, I can use my blocks. And already here, I feel it intensely just because I'm making the stretch a little bit active. I'm not just like hanging out here. I come up a bit and I push my butt down, and now I feel it. And I'm pushing the foot slightly into the wall too. And I'm squeezing my butt. So this already is a very intense stretch and a huge progression. You don't need to come up over the hips right away. And breathe. And then only when this feels very easy to do and you feel like you can go further, you can come up over the hips, trunk over the hips. And the same thing, I'm trying to push my butt forward here. And breathe. I don't know how many times I've said breathe in this video, but this is your reminder to breathe. Especially in this one, I feel it so intensely here. If I really focus on pushing my butt forward, yeah, feel it all along the quad. This is really good at releasing tight hips. We're gonna do the other side. So I'm gonna start off in my progression. So I'm gonna start with the knee a bit further away from the wall, stepping forward. I keep my hands next to the foot. And again, I'm going to tuck my butt in, squeeze my butt, and hold. Okay, and then if I'm okay there, I'm gonna bring the knee a bit closer. Careful how you do this. Okay. And I can stay down here. And I'm gonna tuck my butt in push my foot against the wall and squeeze my butt. On this side, I feel more flexible. I don't feel it on this side as much. So you're always gonna have one cranky hip most of the time, and one hip that's like the golden hip that never gets stiff. For me, my right hip is totally fine today. My left hip I was feeling it very intensely. Okay, and you're gonna come up only if you feel okay there, okay? If this is enough, just stay there, all right, and hold it a bit longer. I'm okay on this side, so I'm gonna come up, but I'm still gonna tuck my butt in. I'm still gonna squeeze my butt. Try to relax your shoulders here. And breathe. Maybe my knee can go a bit closer. And slowly out of it. So with that stretch, you're going to be clenching and squeezing your butt for about 10 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds if you can. If it's too much, just do 10 seconds. And then you relax for a moment. And then you repeat the process. You're always like clenching, squeezing really tight, making that stretch active for about 10 to 20 seconds. If you can do longer, if you can do 30 seconds, it should feel unbearable by the end of those 30 seconds. Go for it. And then you repeat maybe 2 or 3 times. Next, let's do hamstrings. So we are going to grab our yoga blocks. And for now, before we do anything with the wall, place your yoga blocks as you need to keep your back straight. And we're going to bend one knee and then the other. Just do a little bit, some nerve flossing here. This is just gonna tell your body that it is okay to stretch. Especially if you have tight hamstrings, ease into it. Okay, just bend one, then the other. Trying to keep your back as straight as possible rather than this. I mean, if this is what's happening, it's okay, all right? Don't worry too much. Don't overthink it, don't overstress. But if you have something higher, you can place your hands on. If you need something higher, go for it. You can even, hey, we have a wall. You can do this. All right, open up the feet slightly. You're just gonna bend the knees and then straighten, almost like you're going down into a squat and then straighten. So once your hamstrings feel a little bit loosened up, you're gonna grab a yoga block and place it against the wall, and we're gonna sit on it. And from here, we're going to grab our toes. Now, if you have trouble here, feel free to grab like a scarf or a yoga belt or a band and bring it behind the feet instead, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna try and grab our toes, and we're just going to bend our elbows a few times here. If you're okay there, you're gonna just push your toes into your hands and drop the head down. And then back. Push your toes against the hands, bring it back. Push your toes against the hands, bring it back. And continue. Okay. If you're all right here, you can reach down lower for the heels. And again, little pulses. Don't hold anything passively, okay? Move around in the stretch and breathe. If this feels impossible, again, you can stay a little bit higher, use the band, see where you can go, and don't go too deep if it doesn't feel good for you yet, all right? What's important here is you do those little pulses wherever you're at. And that's it for today. I hope you're feeling a little bit flexier, your body's feeling a little bit more open, and I will see you in the next class.